Welcome. I'm Stephen J. Garvey, NCA founder, leader, NCA PM Canada 2019. Tonight I have a short presentation. This is a call out to all passionate Canadians. And before I start in, I want to make it very clear that the National Citizens Alliance, NCA, is officially registered, and we are building a national structure to the party. We are picking up candidates every day. We plan in running in all ridings in 2019. Our objective is to form a majority of the government. Enough is enough. So either you think big or you go home, and we think big at NCA. We are fed up, as most Canadians are, with what's going on. NCA is a true, I would say the only true populist party in Canada. And when we say populist, we're neither left or right, liberal, conservative. We are focused on the Canadian people, our country. That is what drives us. That is what forms our policies, our platforms. No single ideology defines us. We are 100% true grassroots, uncontrolled, and I stress uncontrolled opposition. That makes us into a true populist party in Canada, the only true in our opinion. And we stand definitely in opposition to the crony entrenched establishment in Ottawa that have been putting the Canadian people last for decades, and decades. The NCA, as I mentioned, puts the Canadian people first. That includes our homeless, our veterans, our seniors, our low-income earners, our workers, our millions of workers, our single moms, our single dads. We put all Canadians first. That is the focus of the NCA. And probably the most important thing is the uncontrolled opposition. There are no strings attached to NCA. No strings whatsoever. That gives us a very strong, direct voice, and we have a very clear platform to get our country on track to achieve the greatest prosperity and security for our people. We stand in firm resistance to open borders, sustained mass immigration, and legislation that gives financial aid and jobs to people in countries abroad first. This is all wrong. We all know it. This has to end. The globalist sellouts in Ottawa need to be drained and replaced. The time for protest is over. We have to drain and replace these crony sellouts in Ottawa. It's been going on too long. We also stand in firm opposition to the United Nations and the globalist agenda manifested through UN Agenda 2030, which Harper signed Canada onto and which is being implemented by the current government. And the full blame resides with all the globalist sellouts in Ottawa. All of them. But the blame goes further. The blame resides finally on the Canadian electorate for keep electing the same garbage into Ottawa. These crony, corrupt, career establishment politicians every year. Different colors, but same globalist agenda. We are paying a big price as a country right now. And NCA is here to shake things up and redirect our country, get it back on track. This country is at a critical juncture, a very critical juncture. There's a major transformation going on of our country into what we call a UN globalist village. Just look in your neighborhood. Look in your community. Look in your province, territory. Look in the country as a whole. You can see it happening every day. This is driven partly by sustained mass immigration by all the cronies in Ottawa. Another thing that's going on is the rapid radical replacement of traditional populations. The demographic data does not lie, and this is all part of this globalist sellout. Our heritage, our values, our culture, our way of life are under attack. Globalists don't care because they have no allegiance to any country. It's all about profit. It's all about control. That's why this is going on. Right now, there's a monopoly in Ottawa. There's all these globalist sellout parties. There's offshoots of them. They're all controlled opposition. We need to drain and replace. And today we shared some economic data to show how bad the situation is. The federal debt surpassed $667 billion. And it's over $1 trillion market debt and growing. The previous government added over $100 billion. So what this means is there's over $25 billion in debt service payments to banks. Every year, $25 billion plus of your tax dollars goes to these banks. That does not even touch the principle of the amount owing, and it's just growing and growing. Right now, it's estimated that Canadian families of four owe at least $7,000 per year in debt service payments nationally. $7,000 of your income is put towards debt service payments and growing. This is complete mismanagement of Canada, complete betrayal of the Canadian people. The banks are getting rich. The special interests are getting rich. The establishment parties are getting more voters through the mass immigration. The Canadian people are losing. So we're here to say no to this nonsense, no to the destruction of Canada. And it's just horrific. And this, you could argue that this started in 1974 when Pierre Trudeau shifted the public lending rate to the Bank of Canada, and then the Bank of Canada central bankers started printing our money, charging interest, and now there's some kind of connection to these banks of what's going on. The Canadian people are being exploited. So get informed on these issues. These are facts. This is unacceptable. This is complete financial mismanagement of Canada. The NCA needs Canadians who are willing to put the needs of our country first and who will not sell out to the status quo and continue to perpetuate the establishment party game that's been deceptively working against us for now over 150 years. The NCA rejects the false left-right liberal conservative control game. As I mentioned, we rise above that. Only thing that matters to us is Canadian nationalism versus globalism UN. That's it. We don't play left-right, and we encourage Canadians to wake up and don't play that game. We need honest, caring Canadians representing the NCA in the federal election, who speak on behalf of their fellow Canadians to stop the UN globalist takeover of our country, which is being carried out by the globalist sellouts in Ottawa and by a grossly misinformed Canadian electorate. So we're calling on passionate Canadians to join NCA, and if your passion is strong enough, run as a candidate for NCA. We're looking for Canadians who put the Canadian people first, our country first. That's what it's about. This is selfless task, and that's what we're looking for. And we want to encourage people to join NCA to save Canada, literally. We have to save Canada. It is on the brink right now. Our culture, our heritage, our way of life is all in the balance right now. Due to this systemic globalist agenda, sustained mass immigration, endemic systemic corruption in Ottawa. We encourage people to go to nationalcitizensalliance.ca, and here's the website here. Sign up to a candidate if you feel strongly about saving your country. This is at nationalcitizensalliance.ca. There is a candidate page, NCA candidate, and we make very clear, for us, NCA candidate is a true non-establishment, non-career representative of the Canadian people. That's what we're looking for. We do not consider ourselves politicians. That is an insult to us. We aspire to be representatives of the Canadian people for the sole purpose of getting our country on track, for the sole purpose of greater prosperity, security for our people. The gross mismanagement of this country by these so-called elites in Ottawa is mind-boggling. The data is all there. The economic data, the demographic data is there. Other data is there. Just look at it. Gross mismanagement, corruption to the core in this country. We need to shake things up. But if you think about it, 150 years of the same cronies in power will do this every single time. This should be no surprise to anyone. So we're a very young country, but we're at a critical moment. We all need to wake up. So we're calling on you to join NCA, and we will be in the battle. We are in the battle in York Simcoe, but we're planning to be in the battle against these cronies, globalists, in Nanaimo, Ladysmith, likely in March. So we're looking for a candidate for that by-election on Vancouver Island and to build up our volunteers to support him or her. So please join NCA to literally save our Canada. This does not have to be what's happening. It does not have to be. But the only thing that will change it is the Canadian people. The NCA is only a vehicle to do this true change. That's all we can do. It's up to you, your family, your friends, to step up and support NCA to make this reality. We have big goals. We think big, but it is all contingent on the Canadian people. So thank you for joining me. We look forward to your support, your growing support.